All right, guys, we've got another fun fold. This is like a Z card, a Z fold, if you've ever heard of that. And it's actually a double Z fold. So let me show you how to put this together because it's really pretty easy. First of all, we'll start with a half a sheet of Flirty Flamingo cardstock, and we're going to fold that in half. And then you can take that first piece and then just fold it back on itself. And that creates the Z, like so. Okay. We also have a second piece of Flirty Flamingo cardstock. This one is going to be 4 by 6 inches. So it's 4 by 6 inches. And we're going to take and score that at 2 and 4 inches. Okay, so I've got my trusty scoring blade, or 2 and 4. So we're just basically scoring every 2 inches on this. Okay, and for that we're going to do our little Z. So we've got 2 Z's here. Okay. Now, on each of these pieces, we're going to adhere several panels. So again, all of those piece like sizes of everything are in your instructions. But I've got 2 pieces of lovely lipstick and 2 pieces of Whisper White. These are going to go on these smaller panels. And then I've got 1 piece of printed paper, and that's going to go on the center panel. So I'll just adhere that. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. I've never actually done that to myself before. Okay. So we'll adhere that to the center panel, and this is again on the 4 by 6 piece. I did get a little glue on there. We'll take care of that later. All right, then coming back to our original piece, we've got some pieces of printed paper to adhere as well. So I'll start by the 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel, and this can go on the inside of our card like so. And then on this panel right here, I'm going to adhere the other long strip of printed paper. We're not going to put anything on that center panel because most of it will get covered up by our smaller Z. Okay, so these will eventually get attached like so, just to kind of give you an idea of how that will look. All right, I'm going to set all these pieces aside for a moment, and we're going to come and do our stamping, because that's, of course, what makes this card awesome. So we have 2 panels that we're going to stamp on, and then we need a little bit of scrap paper to do this. So I've got my scrap paper kind of handy here. I'm going to start by stamping the large dinosaur with some lovely lipstick on one of these smaller panels. Okay. And we want that to be kind of right on the edge there. And then I also need to stamp, "Thank you for being a friendosaurus," which is really just like the sweetest. I still just love that. And you know what? I bet I need to turn this over because I didn't leave enough room. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment. Then I'm going to add my dinosaur. That's a good rule of thumb. So he'll just go down a little further because of that. Okay, so there's that one. Then I'm also going to stamp on the inside my little pterodactyl. I'm really needing to catch up on my dinosaur names because I can't remember all of these. And I'm just going to stamp him kind of like that, going off the sides a little bit. And I also had a little hair on there, so that's kind of what that line came from, but that's okay. And then I'm actually going to jazz him up just a touch with these little lines. So that I'm going to stamp right there on his wings. and right there.
Okay.
And then I'll add the sentiment in that is, "You are a rarsome," which I kind of love that, by the way, because it's just cute. Okay, and we'll stamp that right below. Okay. In addition, we're going to take, and I'm going to set these 2 pieces aside. Well, yeah, and then I'm going to take my scrap paper and I'm going to stamp my little dino here in some Pool Party and the little spikes in the Pretty Peacock ink. And remember, again, we'll do the spikes separate and then die cut with that little tab. So I'll just put that right there. I'll go die cut these 2 pieces and then we'll finish putting our card together. Oh, I do want to add one more thing, which actually is the little dots here. You could do the little triangle things that we did on the pterodactyl wings, or the dots, since that was dirty and I didn't feel like cleaning it. That's why I'm going to do it. Okay, so let me die cut these and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my 2 pieces die cut, so let's put all of this together and then we'll assemble the remainder of our card. I do think these fun folds are really sweet and really aren't the trickiest part is just cutting those panels, and that's not that hard once you know what the dimensions are. So it's all pretty sweet. Okay, so
every time I see this, it just makes me happy.
Okay, so I'm going to flip that over, and of course we'll pop him up onto our card. Like so. And then this is actually going to go right here on this panel. Like that. Okay. And then we'll take this whole panel and adhere it to one of those pieces of lovely lipstick. Likewise, we'll do this one as well. All right. And then the last thing we'll do, second to last, is adhere these 2 panels to our smaller Z fold, and then we'll assemble the whole card and embellish. I mean, there's always embellishments. Okay, so remember that piece. Just going to adhere this, cover up that glue that kind of got away from me a little. And then this one will go on the inside. So this will be the inside of my card. And I open that fun fold up. Okay, and then of course, boom, that's how that goes. Now to put this card together, what I like to do is kind of fold the 2 pieces and then kind of align them. And depending on where you position them will kind of depend on how it opens. So for instance, if I hold this, you can see this opens. It doesn't quite open flat, but it comes pretty close. If you get them too far over, or too far in this way, it opens goofy. So you just kind of want to position them where you like, and then hold them flat before you put adhesive on. That's kind of my best suggestion. So notice I'm just putting adhesive right on that one end. So we'll take and line everything up, and I'm just kind of centering it on here. You can position it however you'd like, but that looks pretty good. Okay, and then likewise, I'm going to flip this over. So this is the piece that I'm going to adhere, and I'll move this ink pad so nobody has a heart attack. Okay, now on this one, I can put adhesive over the whole thing. But once again, I'm just going to hold it closed, and then I'm going to place it down and hold it here till it has a chance to kind of pick up the tackiness of my glue. And last but not least, I'm going to embellish this with some of my little enamel shapes. These are so cute. So I think what I'm actually going to do is take and put a couple of these little triangles right here. And you'll see in your sample there's some other pieces. I think that's kind of cute. We'll just put that right there and leave it like so. Okay, so there is a really fun fold.